What's up, people? I know you missed us from our week 4 ranking since we didn't do that because people don't want to get their shit done in time, and you make us wait.
Yeah,
We're not gonna give you a video.
Yeah, really, it's mostly your guys' fault that we didn't do a video.
Yeah, totally your fault, not our fault. So we are here with our week 5 post PR rankings, and again, we still haven't even finished all our games, but we don't want to let the people down. We're only missing one game. So for this week, we have, I think it's Tyler and who else? Calexo?
Calexo, yep.
Yeah. They won't be on this ranking, so they'll be towards we'll just act like they're not even there. And then we'll start from 16 going up. So with that being said, our 16th ranking, who we have both ranked at 16, is Bryce. And I thought Bryce played really well, and he should have won this game, I felt.
I definitely think he had the opportunity to win, but he misplayed so hard on too many occasions to really come back and win.
Yeah. I actually played him this week, and at the beginning, it felt really, I was just going through the motions and stuff. I was getting through it. But at the end, he lost the game because he had a Golbat that I could not touch other than with Garchomp. And then the Golbat destroyed, beat the rest of my team with Taunt, Roost, Brave Bird. And he could have won with it. But towards the end of the game, he just let it die to the Garchomp that came in, where you couldn't easily switch in Steelix. You have to recognize when a Pokemon, there's only one Pokemon that can beat you, and you have a good check for that. Just don't take that risk. Keep Golbat alive. He wins for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I thought that, and then not bringing Mega Swampert was a really big.
Oh, it was so nice not playing against Mega Swampert. It made it really hard. I mean, I know I have Tangrowth and stuff, but still, you can power up punch and then ice punch to weaken stuff. And it's just good to hit everything really hard in the rain.
Yeah, so I thought that was the biggest deal for me. He played okay. I mean, it was a 2-0, so it wasn't a big deal. But he was playing the best team in the league, so I didn't think it was too bad of an effort overall.
Yeah. Also, if he didn't bring Rain, but if he brought Rain with Ludicolo, I lose. I lose because there's nothing that was fast enough to take Hydro Pumps. I had nothing at all. Take Hydro Pumps or Ice Beams. So I was super happy not to see that too. So I'm happy to get through this.
I don't even know why he's drafted. I don't know if I've even seen it this season.
Yeah. Well, he did do some free agents trade, and he basically got rid of his Rain because he got rid of Mega Swampert and stuff like that. So we'll see what he can do for the rest of the season.
Well, I just think it's hard because I don't think his team. I don't think the Rain was necessarily what was wrong with his team.
Yeah, I felt like it had too many other water Pokemon, like Crawdon. I don't think you need it on the team. I don't really think you need a Kingdra if you have Ludicolo, and I'd rather have Ludicolo over Kingdra a little bit.
Well, especially the Crawdon, because that's taking up a tier 2 where you could grab a solid wall to help your team out.
Yeah, which he does. I actually end up dropping Tangrowth, and he picks up Tangrowth and gets rid of Crawdon, which will help out a lot for him.
We'll have to see. I'm interested to see what he does moving forward, but right now he's just last for me easily.
Yeah.
He's behind everyone by a good chunk.
He's 0-5. I mean, there's no reason why you're going to have to win the last 6 games in a row to have a chance to make the playoffs. But
even then, it's hard because there's that minus 20 differential.
Yeah. If you win 6 games, though, that'll go away real fast. So let's go to the next spot, which is number 15, and we have Jake the Cows. And Jake's the Cows, he actually won this week. It was really nice. The problem I have with it, though, it's the exact same team that he's brought the last 3 weeks. And
if it doesn't work the first time, it will work the 4th time. We learned that. The 5th time again.
Yeah, and how do you... And there's some question about if he would have won this game due to...
He doesn't win this game without attacks.
Yeah, he does get 2 freezes. That makes it really hard. I think he has a couple.
I think they're both 10% freeze chances too.
Yeah, they're both 10% freeze, stuff like that.
And they both happen in like a time where like Tempest is setting up to win the game, and it just ruins his stride.
Mm-hmm. But I still think Jake did play pretty good too, because with the Espeon tricking, the Aldino that I played on really hurt his opponent a lot, and then he kept the Florges always alive, never letting it get down low so it can die, because he knew that Florges walled basically everything on his opponent's team. So he did a good job at doing that, and I would commend him on those plays and stuff.
Yeah, I thought overall he definitely played well. I just thought there were quite a few misplays where he let Tempest start setting up, and like the game was going to get out of hand, and all of a sudden he gets the hacks to stop the game. You don't see it that often, but like Jake the Cow's really got the hacks he needed to win that game.
Yeah, I thought there was a real good chance of like when Lando got, I think, to +4 on Swords Dance, and he wasn't able to sweep with it. I thought he was gonna get swept, but you know, Espeon came in, clicked Ice Beam, and then freeze something. So yeah, sucks. But what can you do? It's the game that we all play.
Yeah, but anyway, that's all I have to say. Jake played well enough to win the game, and he got some hacks in his favor.
Mm-hmm. So then let's move on to the number 14, and that will be Silence. And Silent played Nakora, and this game came down to the end, I believe, right?
It was a 1-0, and it basically was decided by Healing Wish and Alamola.
Which was really good. I mean, I still think Nakora had a good chance of winning, even if he didn't have Healing Wish at the end. I think that just secured it up as well, you know? But it's nice to see Silent playing, like, he hasn't been playing bad as of recently. He has a poor record, which sucks for him. But like the game against Kid, he should have won that game, you know? This game, he was right in it with one of the best battlers in the league. So that's been a positive with Silence.
I think what always happens is like he plays the start and the middle of the game really well, but just can't finish the game.
Yeah. Also, I've been loving watching Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz been doing so well for him.
Yeah, he's played it like just amazingly all season. There's been like the one misplay on the Outrage, but besides that, he's played it perfectly.
Yeah.
It just won't die like until the very end of every game.
And I think does he have 2 wins right now?
I think he's 1-4.
Yeah, he is 1-4, so that sucks. But you're not out of it because like you're only 2 games away from being like in 5th place. So
I mean, so this is all I have to say. He's 1-4 with a -4 differential,
and that's actually
like that's
really
crazy.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
So I'm actually excited to see how Silent plays the rest of the season. See if he can't pick up some wins.
If he can get to 6-5, like he'll have a decent differential, and I think he has a solid chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah. So with saying that, let's move on to our next player, and that is Frozen. And with Frozen, he snuck by with a win this week.
Yeah, I really thought that Scarf Kyurem was amazing this week, and he definitely was ready with it. Like, it definitely pulled out the...
Yeah, I think what helped him out a lot was you gave him some suggestions of picking up some Mons, and he picking up Mega Metachamp helped out a lot with him, and then picking up Kyurem helped out, gave him more firepower and stuff like that. So you definitely see that in the game against Mandy, who's one of the league's best battlers as well.
Well, I think the biggest deal is Mega Metachamp doesn't necessarily have to do anything in game. It just applies so much offensive pressure that your opponent might make some mistakes here and there, and that gives you a chance for your other mons to really come in and get a lot of kills. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the Mon that gets all the kills for you to be doing well, and you definitely see that in this game.
Yeah, and then I helped with Mandy for a little bit, not like the whole thing, and then with she was going crazy over trying to figure out how she's gonna play with this Medicham because it's just like almost two shots everything, and that sucks to have something like that to try to prep with that. I know how that feels. The overpowering of Mega Medicham is crazy, and we didn't even get to see it with webs yet. So
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though. If you bring Mega Medi with a high jump kick, there's almost nothing in the game that's going to be able to switch in on it. Like, it's crazy.
And this actually really helps out Frozen in the standings because last week he got a forfeit win, still a win, and brings with this win brings them two wins, 3 losses, and literally from like 2 and 3s and 3 and 2s, there's 10 people in that. So you're actually in the thick of it to try to get playoffs.
You really control your own destiny from here on.
Yeah, and if you can keep on playing as well as you're doing and stuff like that, and then there's no reason why you can't. It'll be great.
Yeah. Well, he's got a tough test next week. He plays a really good player.
Yeah. Who's he play next week?
Me.
Ah, you lost. Game over.
Game over.
Game over.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
So let's move on to our next person, and that is 12 with Hubi. And with Hubi, he's the last couple of weeks have been rough for him.
Yeah, for sure. It's. I mean, you definitely see a lot of those problems. Basically, what I have here is that he still has a lot of trouble switching in on anything. I mean, Mega Slowbro's helped, but it's really the same story every week, that he can't switch into anything, and then he can't really get any momentum ever in the game. Yeah. He basically has to play every play perfectly from start to finish to win games the way his team set up.
Yeah, it's all the flaws that we've talked about earlier. Like, he's going to have a hard time throughout the whole year. People get rocks up there. People are able to actually switch into his Mons and hit, like you say, his Mons not have switch-ins back. So, but I will say, looking at Hubi's schedule, he's had his hardest part of his schedule up to now, and he's 2 and 4, or 2 and 3 at this point.
Yep.
Before the season, he's actually 2 and 4, and we'll talk about that next year. But I think going forward, he has it really easy. He'll be able to move on.
Yeah, I think he has a chance to make playoffs. He just, again, he's got to play every game perfectly because he's only able to keep it close because he's a great battler. He's gonna have to play every play really well just to have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I would still like to see if he's gonna make any more changes or if he's still gonna stick with the meme or not. Like, because he could be dangerous, because I think he still has 3 more pickups that he can do, and if that's true, he can really make the team good if he wanted to. So that's Hubi. Let's move on to our number 11 spot, and that's Kid Icarus. And
yeah, you definitely saw Kid fall a little bit this week.
Yeah, Kid did not have a good game. He went against Killer, and Killer, I felt, kind of had his number the whole time.
So for me, I feel like that's Kid's greatest weakness, is that if you bring unorthodox sets, he's not going to be prepared for it. And he has a really, really hard time adjusting mid-match. And, I mean, he just doesn't necessarily have the prep to deal with that either. So, I mean, Kid's a good battler. He's an okay prepper. But, like, if you make him think, like, he'll mess up at some point in the game. And you definitely see that. Boo.
Yeah, I think
Boo could have possibly swept.
Yeah, Boo put in a lot of work. I actually mocked against Killer a lot of games, and there's like no switching for Boo. Not even like the flying types he has could take a choice banded Woodhammer and stuff like that.
Yeah, I battled with Kid Icarus right before the game, and I brought pretty standard sets, and he dealt with them really well. But that's what I'm saying. Killer brought really weird sets, not necessarily weird, but kind of not the usual things. He had like a really bulky Coco.
Mm-hmm.
With Toxic, so that really it gave Kid a lot of problems, and he didn't necessarily know what to do, and he sacrificed a lot of his mons because he didn't really know what was going on.
I think if Kid can go back in time and put Heal Bell on his Licky Licky, that game's a lot different, because Coco was a support mon at that game. It had Taunt, Nature Madness, had Toxic, and kept on toxing a lot of stuff. So if he would have been able to Heal Bell, he would have been able to sit through with Heal Bell and Wish and protect his mons. I will say I really did like the Savali set, because I always, when I mocked against Killer, I brought Electric Savali to take advantage of the terrain. But I really like the Tailwind Parting Shot. I've never thought about that, but that's great. Just Tailwind, Party Shot, get like a Pokemon like Bulu in to just like hit someone. I really appreciated that.
That's the thing though, like he always has like one or two mons that are prepped really well and like are really fun sets, are really good. And I just feel like he stops thinking at that point and stops like the other 4 or 5 mons he brings just aren't as great. And I think that's his biggest problem.
Yeah. But he is currently 3-2.
3-2. So he's in a solid place right now to make playoffs if he just keeps playing well or at the level he's been.
It is sad though, because he's 3-2 and he has a negative differential.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely been the story of his season. Is like close games when he wins and bad losses. So I mean,
yeah,
we'll see. Yeah. We'll see.
So let's move on to our number 10 spot, and that is Tempest. And Tempest went against Jake the Cows, and he unfortunately lost. And you can say that, you know, there was a lot of hacks in the game. Like, he got frozen twice and stuff like that. He played really well for all that was happening to him. Like, I think this game went on for like 70 turns. And for that to happen, he did really well. The one thing I will complain, and I have talked to him about all the time, just because if you have Feeny and you have that, what is it, Fairy Terrain, I don't think that's good enough to not bring Heal Bell. Because Terrain's not always going to be up, and you're not always just going to be able to switch Feeny into something just to get Terrain up. And you saw that what happened. Like, he got frozen twice. I think maybe he got toxic. Yeah, he got toxic as well. And if he would have had Heal Bell on the Aldino, this game's totally different. Like, all those unlucky stuff that happened is not a problem anymore. You just Heal Bell, and then all your mons are fresh, and then you're able to throw up a Wish, get them back in. So I've talked to him about it. Hopefully we'll see more Heal Bell. I understand, like, people want extra slots for other stuff. I just think Heal Bell is so important in the game of Pokemon.
Oh, I definitely agree. First of all, I hate having to move him down after a game like that. It just sucks. It's just your record and your differential aren't where it needs to be in a top, to be above where you are right now. But I agree. I don't really necessarily think Aldino needs the extra move slots. I think Heal Bell is always a good bring on it. Besides that, I felt like his sets were really good. His prep was all right. I mean, he had the battle went okay for him, and he really had a good chance of winning every time he got like the freeze just slowed him down so many times. And I don't know if it would have been a big deal on the Megalotti. Just because it was setting up to win the game. And then you could just switch out, unfreeze it, and basically switch it right back in. It was just, Megalotti was that good in that position that it could come in and set up again.
Yeah. I also think with the Megalotti, I think he had Psychic over Side Shock. I think when you know you're going against a Pokemon like Florges, you have to bring Side Shock. Because there's a spot where you got a Calm Mind up in front of a Florges that was at like 38%. If you set a Side Shock right there, that's dead, and you win the game. Like, you're over. Like, every time I play against a Chansey or a Blissey, I always think I'm picking Side Shock over Psychic, just for that reason right there.
Well, that should always be the obvious play, so that's 100% a big mistake on his part, and you definitely see it costing him a little bit.
Yeah. I will say this though, he's one of the most improved battlers throughout the whole season. Like he was playing really poorly the first 2 weeks, and he's just been getting really good. So hopefully he could keep on doing that. He's at 2-3 record right now, so he still has a good chance at making the playoffs. He's like right in the thick of it.
Definitely, I definitely agree.
So let's move on to our number 9 spot, and that is Nakora. And Nakora was able to pick up a victory over Silence this week. And it was really cool to me seeing the Healing Wish from the Alamola to secure a victory with the Crocodile.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like it was quite a comeback win. Like for him, I thought it was over when Nicholas started setting up Calm Minds, as I was over when Kabalion went to +1 after a knockoff. But he definitely hung in there. He had a plan for everything that was happening, and it definitely won him the game.
Yeah.
The Healing Wish tech was amazing. I mean, Healing Wish is always such a hard bring for me, just because it takes up a move slot that I want to use, and it's not always necessarily helpful. But for him, it really won him the game, I feel like.
Yeah, I think he did well with his tanky mons, with Ferrothorn and Alamola. Those could be really hard to deal with all the time, and he used them well to help out, get him back into the game. And then he has hard attackers to deal with, so the core is going to be fine. He's doing real good, I think, right now. Believe he's 3-2, and he has a positive differentials, and he's on the higher end of the standings right now.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine as long as he keeps playing his style of games. I mean, he's got a really tough matchup next week in U, so we'll have to see how he does. But I mean, he should probably bring Victini. Is my thing. Yeah. Why?
So let's move on from Nakora, because we know Nakora is going to be fine, and let's go to our number 8 spot, and that is Dark.
Daddy Dark coming in at number 8. Yep. You definitely Dark had another good win. You definitely have seen this. He has like good wins and then like not that bad of losses. So I think that he definitely can move up the rankings again and be up there in the top 5 easy if he keeps playing.
Yeah, he played really well. He went against Hubi. He had a answer to every single mon that Hubi had, and he was just in control of the game. He played amazingly with Mawao, which, like, you don't see Mawao get played that much because it's a tier 5 mons, but he's doing amazing with it, with Intimidate and having, like, a Baton Pass. It is just great momentum for him the whole game.
Yeah, it really slowed, and like the defensive typing is really good too, so it really slows down a lot of physical attackers. And even if like you can't beat it and you switch out trying to get a better position, like the slow pivoting is amazing.
Yeah.
So he's played that well. Yeah, Volcanian's been really good for him too. I thought the funniest thing was in this match was Roserade being leech seeded was really weird and really fun.
Yeah, that was I totally forgot the Baton Pass, like catch it on and then he Baton's Pass.
Yeah, keep like stats and like all like the stuff that's on you, so like Leech Seed and Aqua Ring would come with you, which is pretty.
Yeah, that's been crazy. I like that, but yeah, it's been fun to watch Dark play.
I want to know. So, Roserade actually died to Leech Seed, so I want to know how many times in like the history of Pokemon that's happened, because it's probably not.
Can't be a lot. Definitely not. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, overall, great sets, great plays. You definitely won that game pretty handily, and I thought you played amazing overall. So you did everything right, and just gotta keep going. And
yeah, he does have a tough rest of the season to go to. He has a murderous row of good players to play against. So hopefully he'll be able to pull it out. He's in a good position right now to do that, though.
Yeah, exactly. But again, we got a lot of good players. So like the top what 8 making playoffs?
Yes.
It's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a battle till the end. I'm 4-1 and I don't feel safe right now to make playoffs.
So let's move to our next spot, and that's Mandy at number 7. And up to this spot, you and me been together on every single ranking, and we both have Mandy at 7 as well. And Mandy this week took an unfortunate loss to Frozen.
Yeah, and I mean, she got really frustrated about this loss because she got haxed, but she did not get haxed. I feel like Frozen outplayed her, and Frozen, I'm really proud of you. GG's, man.
Yeah. I think the biggest things was stuff like, I don't think the hacks was the problem. I thought like she had like, I think 3 Pokemon with the Paralyze on it. I think the speed is what sucked for her the most. And I think even at the end, it doesn't really matter because I think the Karam was scarfed anyway, so it would be able to outspeed a lot of things.
Yeah.
I will say about Mandy, what I do like about her team, she had the Ursaring that literally killed any wall that Frozen wanted to bring in. And it was amazing to see that. It's the first time seeing that all year. Hopefully we see more of that throughout the year because that's what she kind of needs on her team. One thing is I was a little salty about because I told Mandy to bring a Caviar Berry on the Clefable because I knew that the Medicham would click Poison Jab even though it didn't have to click Poison Jab against her. And then if she would have done that, she would have either got like a tons of damage with Moonblast, or you could have Thunder Wave it yourself and just like crippled it for the rest of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You just gotta take in counts and stuff like that. Other than that, I need more Hail Bell. You have great.
Yeah,
Hail Bell mods.
It would have been a good time to bring it, especially against something like P2 that just wants to para and poison shit every time.
I feel like this is a lot like Tempest's game where you had a lot of misfortune happen to you and you felt like it, but if you bring Hail Bell, you don't even have to worry about it at that point.
Okay, I'm sure it felt like she got haxed. I'm sure it felt like that because she mixed the Toxic. She got a Discharge pair on her. But I have the numbers here. I went through every turn, and this is what happened. So she was paired. Her Mons that were paired for 9 turns. She only got paired twice, which is actually under the chances, so that's good. She missed a turn of Toxic, but Frozen the same turn missed Toxic.
Mm-hmm.
She got Discharged paired once, but Frozen missed a Zen Headbutt that was important. So those were, I mean, she actually ended up pretty even on hacks. So I'm sure it felt like it because of the para hacks, but really it was just Frozen knowing that he needed to outspeed some of her really fast Mons. And I thought she didn't get hacks. Frozen just played it really well, and he knew what he needed to slow her down.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's why his team has webs, because he really likes his Mons outspeeding stuff. And then he, instead of having to bring webs, which can go away, he paired stuff. And not a whole lot of people are going to bring Heal Bell. So you definitely see, I don't think it was hacks. I think it was all skill here by Frozen, which is saying a lot for a man who's had a tough season so far. But he's played great this last one.
Yeah. Mandy, I know her next like 4 games are insanely hard. My best advice for you is not to tilt so much. You do know that you had a bad matchup with the Mega Medicham, so just don't let this loss, because you got 2 losses in a row, carry on to the next one. Because if so you're gonna see yourself in a bad hole. I feel like honestly, if Mandy can just win 1 of her next 4 games, she'll be able to make the playoffs. So just don't let emotions take over.
Yeah, you just gotta calm down, make sure you think about every play, and you'll be fine.
So let's get to our top 6, and this is where we have different opinions and stuff. And at the 6th spot, we have Killer. You have him at 6, I have him at 5. And that's a big jump for me because I had him down all the way to, I think, 12th last week. But I feel like his play was phenomenal this week. It was a big reason why he's up. He's 4-1, I believe, with a good differential. So I
honestly wanted to put him up higher. Like, I mean, maybe I should have. He brought really unique sets, and they worked so well. They worked really well. Definitely when you're playing someone like Kid Icarus, who has like a one-track mind when it comes to Mons, and he's just gonna play his game. And he'll get thrown off by if you have weird things. Like it worked perfect.
Yeah, I love the Coco. The Coco, like you don't see this Coco a lot. You usually see the special, the pivoted one and stuff like this, but the defensive Coco really worked really well, and that's just really good on Killer for having that. He was in control of this game the whole time. For the most parts, in most of his games, it feels like he's in control. So when he preps well, he plays well. He does have the highest differential in our league right now, too.
My biggest, the biggest thing I think he did was bringing that AV waterfall tentacruel.
Oh, that
I
was
think
so good.
that Volcarona was such a problem for all his other mons that he needed that, and it paid off big time.
Yeah, mocking with him and having the Volcarona, I literally would just hit a wall every single time that came up, and it didn't even matter if I got like two of the quiver dances up. It just ate it and then killed it. So that's really good prep.
Well, so that's one of the things. So that's one of the things that makes it really hard when you have a specific Z crystal. Because like for me, I've had people run that against me, and I've been able to two-shot it before it was Z psychic. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you can't do that, you can't pick your Z crystal, like it was perfect prep. It was literally perfect prep for the Volk.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's definitely going to keep on moving up because I think he's been playing really well, and he's just going to keep on playing well. People are going to have really hard times playing against him.
Well, I think he only has one loss, and it's to you, and you're definitely the best team right now.
Yeah,
so it's really surprising
that came to the very end where there was a good chance of me losing the game within the last like couple turns as well too. So he's definitely up there. I would say he did some free agent transactions, and he got rid of Necrozma, which I didn't like. I don't remember what he picked up. Do you remember?
I didn't even know he made transactions.
Yeah, he dropped Necrozma for Blissey, which not the biggest fan of that. And then he also dropped Drampa for Dragalge.
Yeah, that's some. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know why he did it. I don't know why he felt like he had the need of it. I thought Necrozma was really good. Like, you could do Necrozma so many different sets, and that's the big thing. And with Blissey, you kind of know what's going to come. But I will say to this, we both complained about his team not having a Wish Patcher. He finally got one to help out his team.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it pays off, though. I mean, Blissey's a great Wish Passer, though, so hopefully it will do good stuff for him.
Yeah. So let's move on to our top 5, and number 5 is Byron. You have him ranked at number 5. I have him ranked at number 4. And tell me what you think about his play this week.
It's perfect. The Mew set was incredible. I was just blown away by his stats this week. Manny is an amazing battler, and for him to get 4-0'd, for him to get 4-0'd, you got to do something right. And Byron brought the heat this week. The Mew set literally was perfect. I don't know how else to say it. It put in so much work. It was like the perfect lead. It just made him struggle. And I felt like that's all you need to do is get Manny to start struggling at the beginning of the game, and you can slowly chip away at him.
Yeah, the Mew set with the Super Fang, Taunt, Soft Boil, and Will-O-Wisp was legit. Like, he seen Mandy played, and that set like really hurt his whole team.
Yeah, it was great. And then, I mean, Zard, he got it to the point where if Zard gets set up, it just wins the game. And that's what.
Yeah. He had to make a prediction, too, with the Zard, which was really nice, where he didn't have to Mega Evolve, so it was in front of a Lottie. And it's like, Lottie's either going to click Dragon Pulse or Thunderbolt. So he had to make a play on that, which was, I think he didn't Mega Evolve the first turn. I believe. Yeah. And then he got the DD up and was able to sweep with Charizard X. Which is why
Charizard
X is so damn scary.
Yeah, Charizard X. I mean, and you definitely he always brings a reset. Was it? So I wasn't surprised to see that, but it definitely paid off dividends this week too.
Yeah.
To be able to stay alive and kill more stuff.
Yeah, he's played really well. He was towards, I think, the middle of the pack towards our rankings for the last couple of weeks, but with this one, it bumps him up in the top 5, and the play just says it all about everything.
I know he's 3-2. I don't know. He lost to me and he lost to someone else, but I think he's only taken pretty good losses overall.
He lost to Kid Icarus on that something. What was it? I think he lost to Kid. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like everyone's lost to Kid by some kind of weird thing.
Some weird hack plays. No, because Kid has beat Calexo, Manny, and.
Oh, okay, so maybe it's someone else.
Yeah, I don't know who. Byron, you should tell us in the comments and let us know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's taking good losses and he's beat pretty good teams too. So he has a pretty tough schedule overall, I feel like.
Yeah. No,
he lost to Hoobie on that.
Oh yeah, the sales game. Yeah.
So yeah, he's taking pretty good L's.
Yeah. So let's move on to our number 4 spot, and that's the opponent that Byron just played, and that's Manny. I have him ranked at number 6. You have him still ranked super high at number 3, even though he just took a loss.
Because I believe in him.
You believe so much into him. Yeah,
I mean,
how can you not?
He lost to a really good opponent, and I have a hard time moving people down when they're that good and they lose to like someone whose prep was that amazing.
Mm-hmm. And I understand that. Is Theodore Manny, after 3 seasons now, getting predictable? Is that what's happening now? Does everyone know what he's gonna do? And so Byron was
probably gonna be a 3-time champion.
Probably. But yeah, how do you feel like he played this game?
I thought he played his style and it wasn't necessarily bad. I just thought, like I'm saying, Byron just was ready for everything that he threw at him. And I thought Manny just kept playing his style and kept trying to do things his own way. And like, it didn't work, but it was going okay.
Yeah. And I still even think at the end, he still had a chance to win, but he had to make that 50-50 call on the Charizard to not let it get out of hand. And he happened to make the wrong call, and then the game's over at that point. So even as badly he got planned against or prepped against by Byron, he still has a chance in a game. So
do you think Draco kills regular Zard at full?
Yeah, I think so. Does it? Do the calc math.
I have no idea.
I also think Thunderbolt basically ends Charizard as well.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, if he has Draco, he doesn't have to make a 50-50 call. He just kills.
Yeah, but he's never playing with Draco ever again after losing the kid.
Yeah, for sure. Which is weird because I feel like his play style, Draco is great for him. Like he loves switching out and like just recovering on the stuff.
That's true. Maybe we'll see Draco more for the rest of the season. He's still in good position to be able to make the playoffs and stuff like that. So let's move on to our next person, and that's our 3rd spot. And I have Jake ranked 3. You have yourself ranked at 4th right now.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, I played really poorly. I'm not gonna lie. I prepped and played terribly. Basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what happens for me when I have like a really bad matchup? I panic a little bit and sometimes make really bad decisions. And that's what happened in this game. I made some really bad decisions on my prep, and I made some bad decisions in my play, and it really affected the outcome of the game. Ninetales is really bad. I can't believe he only won that game. Like, he's really bad, guys.
Yeah, well, I would say it was funny because at the beginning of the week, you were so confident that you're going to beat Ninetales. And you were even talking about how you wanted to show Ninetales your sets because you're just going to destroy him. And then we mocked after the first 2 games. We're like, yeah, this is actually going to be a problem. Ninetales has a really good team against you.
Well, just Stoutland and Terrakion just kind of destroyed my entire team easily.
Yeah, you didn't have much switch-ins for that. yeah, I don't know what you do at that point because I don't know because I did say that I thought Magnezone was a must bring because it helps you against so many other Pokemon, but then Terrakion's there and Terrakion can just like go crazy. But like me personally, I felt like you should have brought the Magnezone, and with Terrakion, you just had to play the 50-50 game if he's going to click head Zedbutt or close combat with the Venusaur, and I think you're good enough to make those plays. But I do think it like you panicked a little bit too much on it.
Oh, I panicked hardcore. I literally was changing my sets like seconds before the match, so I panicked really bad.
Yeah. Oh, like I think turn 1 was huge for what happened because what you changed the IVs of your Keldeo.
Yeah, I was doing some random calcs. I'm like, Keldeo probably could live a Zen Headbutt if I fucking put full HP, and then I don't care about the Terrakion. And then that caused me a lot of problems. I could have just speed tied it, and that would have been so much better. And I one shot the Rotom otherwise. So just bad plays by me, making mistakes.
Yeah,
that's probably my biggest weakness as a player is like if I have a bad matchup or if I'm like just unsure about something, I tend to panic. And you definitely saw that this week.
The other thing I was a little upset with was we mock battled so many times, and you knew that rocks was a problem. Like every time I got rocks, I would just open up, throw rocks on you. You had no way to get rid of it, and it hurt your team. Except for the one game that you killed like my rocker right off the bat, and then you just destroyed me, and you still didn't have anything to get rid of those rocks. You need to bring some Hazel remover, Doc.
I'll try.
All right, so we'll move on from you, and we'll go to our number 2 spot, which is Ninetales, the guy that beat you. And what can we say? Ninetales, you fell from grace. You're all the way back to number 2. It's great to see it. You played really well. You didn't give Jake absolutely anything in this game. You had a plan. You stuck to it, and your team was just very superior to Jake. And you made Jake weep the whole week.
Oh yeah, I was salty. I had like a bad day at work, and then I came home and did that match. I'm like, I am just stepping away from Mons for 2 days. That was me.
Yeah, it is nice to see that you ranked him number 2, giving him the respect that he deserves. I ranked him number 2.
So the reason I ranked him number 2 is because last time he was ranked number 2, he got 6-0. So I'm hoping that happens again.
That's what you're hoping. I don't know. I think I don't know who plays next week, but I'm pretty sure. It's
I think
pretty sure it's not gonna be Blake.
Hoobie next week. Pretty sure it didn't go well for Hoobie.
Yeah, it definitely didn't. So he's gonna keep this thing going on. So that's good. I don't know. I think Ninetales has being at 4-1 and having a differential of at least 7, which is kind of low for being at 4-1. But you know, when you get 6-0 by Mandy, you're not gonna have the best differential. But he has a great path to the playoffs, and that's all you care about is getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think his schedule's been that hard, and he's definitely played pretty well overall. So he's got a good team. I think he'll be.
So let's go on and finish this thing up, and we are at number 1 spot, and you ranked me number 1. I ranked myself number 1. Pretty much just the fact that I am undefeated, and I'm the only undefeated is why I'm ranked at number 1, because I legit should have lost to the ranked 18th spot player this year. If he does not, like, if he kept that goal back alive, he wins that game. So I'm a little
bad plays on his part, but like, I mean, you played well enough to win the game. That's what mattered.
Yeah, I was really upset. This was another case where I didn't prep enough for Amon, like the Drampa, and now it's the Golbat, where I probably should have had more for the Golbat, seeing that it hurt my team a lot. And but other than that, I thought I'd made great plays. He was really taken back by the 3 Yachis I had on my team and stuff, and then like anything
we mocked that was like 5.
anything he had to kill my Mon, I had like an answer for that, for it to live and to kill that mon in return, except for the Golbat. So yeah, that's it. I thought I played mediocre. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're basically just mediocre overall.
Yeah, I just gotta hope I can keep on getting these lucky plays, people making mistakes for me to keep my undefeated season going on. You have any kind words to say about me?
I just I thought your prep was okay and like you played it well enough to win. I just think that you made some mistakes you wouldn't make against a good player. I think you underestimated Bryce as a player.
Yeah, I think so, that too. He also, like I said, if Bryce brought Rain, I think he wins the game like really easy and stuff like that. And he didn't. I've always had trouble with Rain team for some reason, and that's kind of a little upsetting. Knowing that, I mean, I lost in the the PSBL to a Rain team to a rookie player. So yeah, don't bring Rain against me. And then I lost to Mike in the PSBL with a Rain team too. So yeah, I don't like Rain. Not good against it. But he didn't even bring a Rain team, and I still almost lost. But if he would have,
would have.
I thought he played well enough to lose that game, basically, and played well enough to win. So,
all right. So then let's move on. That's the rankings for this week. Let's do our offensive, defenses, and game of the week. And for me, the defensive player of this week, it was really hard. There was a lot of good defensive players. I would like to give a shout out to the Coco, the Florges, and the I forget what the other one, but those two Pokemon, I'll give an honor up to them. They played really well. But my defensive player of the week is Mew for that set. It had a check to beat the best team in the league and the best player in the league, and it did its job. I'm very proud of Mew being up here at number 1.
I completely agree. I think Mew was definitely the Mon that was the best way. I mean, it did the best. It was literally stopped him in his tracks. I think we went like 18 turns with like Manny just trying to decide what to do against it.
Yeah, definitely. It was really good.
Yeah, I had a little trouble picking offensive Mon this week, especially because like I didn't have as much time as I usually do to go through the battles and watch it. But I think I'm going to have to go with Byron also. I'm going to have to say that Zard X was my offensive Mon of the week.
No, I definitely agree with that. That Mon's a monster. It's really scary. And if you can get it going, it got going and swept a good player. So look at...
Yeah, I mean, it won him the game at the end. Like, there just wasn't any stopping it once he got to +1.
Mm-hmm. So with that, who do you think was the game of the week?
I'm a little unsure. I really, so I want to go Frozen and Mandy was my game of the week, just because I thought Frozen playing that well against a really good player was impressive, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I think to me the game of the week was Nakora versus Silent, because it came to a 1-0. And it came to like a Healing Wish to bring a Pokemon back, and they both played, I felt, well throughout the whole game. So it was really exciting to see it the whole game through.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that. That's a pretty good pick right there.
Yeah. So there's that. So since we are at the halfway mark, we're gonna do something a little bit unique. We did have predictions at the earlier part of the seasons. And we want to bring those up and then give you our new predictions for the stuff. So we'll start with like the Mons. I thought at the beginning of the season that Charizard X would be the offensive Mon of the year, and then Toxapex would be the defensive Mon this year. And so far, I'm gonna keep the Charizard X as my offensive Mon. I think it will start to pick up steam. I do think it's like in probably the top 10 in kills and stuff right now throughout the league. But I'm very disappointed in the Toxapex picks. It hasn't done that much overall. So to replace it, it was really hard. There are actually a few good defensive Mons this whole year. One of them being like Mandibuzz, Muck, and Venusaur. I think they've been amazing all year. but I'm actually gonna give my defensive Mon of halfway point to Donphan because it's been able to spun hits like nothing, been able to use utility, and it's pretty far up there in kills right now. I think it's the kill leader of its team right now, and being a defensive Mon, so that's always really good to see.
Yeah, so for me, I picked Drakion to be the offensive Mon of the year, and I definitely think it had the possibility, but Ninetales is awful as a player. So it hasn't really done exactly what I thought.
One kill on the season.
Against me, too. But so I'm going to go ahead and say that my offensive Mon is going to be Zardex. I agree with Rocky. It's been really good so far, and I just think it'll be played better for the rest of the season. And then defensively, I gotta say Mandibuzz, because I think it's the only thing that keeps silent in these games that he's been so close. And
yeah, he's been playing.
He plays really well. I mean, it literally keeps him in every game he's been in. So I 100% think Mandibuzz is a defensive Mon for him, and I mean, it's the most important member of its team.
Yeah, I would like to throw out there that Garchomp is the leading killer of the league right now, and he's on my team, and it's great. But,
well, do you know that for sure though? Because like a lot of people haven't been keeping up with their kills.
I'm going out on a limb and saying for sure. That's on them.
You can't say for sure.
For sure.
Okay, and lastly, we want to like just stop and look at everybody and see who our top 8 making playoffs are.
Yeah, so we had some questionable decisions at the beginning of the thing, and let me run off who I said in the preseason was going to make the playoffs. And don't laugh at me. Lucy, Hooby, me, Jake, Theodore, Nakora, Ninetales, and Mandy. I mean, most of all those are really strong. But Lucy left the league. Hooby's not playing that well right now. And then pretty much all those other people are in the top 8 as I have it. But with my new rankings, what I got going on is I have myself being in the playoffs. I now have Killer, the respect that he deserves. I should have put him in there to begin with. I have Jake, I have Ninetales, I have Theo, I have Nakora, I have Dark, who I didn't have in there before, but he's been playing so well. I have Hooby still making the league, and I can't believe I still have that. I do think he has a really easy schedule for the rest of the year, and I think somehow he'll be able to pull it back off. And I think Byron. So a noticeable person that I don't have in there that has a great chance to make playoffs is Mandy. My problem with Mandy is she just lost two games in a row, and I think her next 4 games are really hard. It's either 4 or 3 games that are like really hard. So I'm a little scared that she might go on tilt. And if she goes on tilt, I've seen this happen with Mandy. She doesn't play as well and stuff, and she kind of like loses it for the whole season. But I really think she just needs to win 1 game out of the next 3, and then she'll have a good chance to make the playoffs. But as of right now, I don't know.
Yeah, so, I mean, good picks. Right now, I think it's obvious that you, me, Killer, and Ninetales all win enough games to make the playoffs. Just because we're all 4-1 or better right now. We all have pretty decent differentials, and we're just good players overall. Then I'm going to go Mandy, Theo, Dark, and Byron would be my other 4.
Yeah. So from going off of what you had in the preseason, of course, that means Lucy was in your top thing. And I don't know who else, because let's see, your preseason was Jake, Rocky, Lucy, Killer, Mandy, Manny, Nakora, Ninetales. Do you think Mandy's not going to make it?
No, I said Mandy, Manny, Dark, Byron. I think Nakora is my odd man out right now.
Ooh, Nakora. That's a rough one. That's your man crush, though.
No, I just think he has too much going on in real life to really prep for his battles the way he used to. I've seen a lot more misplays in his battles than I used to. I just think he has a tough time.
Yeah, I still think he's a good enough battler, but these are all opinions. In your opinion, so. Yeah. So then with that ends this episode. This is where we're at. We're midway through the season, because technically we are already halfway done with week 6 with all these battles being done early, which I love. I hope people get their battles done earlier so we can get everyone's games on these ranking shows. And it's been cool. So I'm out of here.
Bye bye, UPL.